Hello, in this video we're going to share some tips on how to assemble this desk, but before we get started, here's a few things to keep in mind. Estimated time for assembly is about 90 minutes with 2 people and longer with 1, but we highly recommend 2 people since it is a big piece. Make sure you have a screwdriver and just make sure everything's facing the right way as you're putting it together and you'll do great. So let's get into it. Just a quick disclaimer, these tips don't cover every step, so make sure you follow the instructions and complete all the steps in order. In step 4, we'll be putting together pieces 3, 5, 6, and 7. And for this, we just want to make sure that we get the grooves lined up all the way around. So we'll take piece 5, which goes on this side, and these cam lock holes need to be at the bottom to line up with these cam bolts down here. And this groove should line up like this. Then we can take piece 6 and do the same thing. Cam lock holes should be at the bottom, and this groove should line up here, like this. And then we can put in those cam locks. And we'll put them in the other side as well. Then we'll take piece 7, and we want the cam lock holes to face towards piece 6, which is this way. And then we can lock that with the cam locks as well. All right, once those are all in place, we're good to move on. In step 6, we're gonna put piece 4 on top of these parts that we put together. And for this, we just wanna make sure that this groove lines up with this back panel here. So we'll set it on top like this. And line up the dowels, just like that, and then we'll put 6 bolts D into the top, and then we'll tighten them all. Okay, once those are all tight, we're good to move on to step 7, and for this we just need piece 15, and we've already put the dowels in. And then for this, we just want to make sure that we have this finished edge facing this piece, and these cam lock holes facing backwards like this. That should go there. And then we'll take our screws CC and those go in through the top here. Okay, once all those screws are tight, we're good to move on. In step 13, we're gonna start attaching pieces to piece 2. So for this, we're just gonna take this big piece that we put together, and this will just rest on top and should line up with these holes. Also, there's a cam bolt here that needs to go in. So we'll just rest that on to that, just like that. And then we'll take 2 of our bolts E, and those go here in front into these 2 holes here, just like that. And then we'll take our piece 11 over here, and this goes up. So this cam lock hole should be facing outwards like this. Then we'll lock this in place with a cam lock. And we'll also tighten these 2 bolts completely. Then we'll attach the next pieces, which is this section here. And this will rest on top, like this. Then we'll line up these cam bolts up front, along with the dowels. And then we'll take 2 cam bolt locks. And those go in here. And then we'll take piece 14, and we'll have the cam lock holes facing outwards this way, and line it up with these 2 right here. Put in our cam locks. Okay, and then once those are all in place, we're going to move on to step 14 and put on the other half of the frame. So for this, just make sure you have the longer feet facing the same way, and then this will line up on top. And we'll take our cam locks and lock these ones. And then we'll take 2 more bolts E, and those will go in through the top. All right, once those are all tight, we're good to move on. In step 23, we'll be putting together the doors with pieces 9 and 10. We've already gone ahead and done 10, but we'll show you how to do the one with piece 9. So for this, we have this little metal plate, and for this, you want the bumps on this little plate to be facing towards this piece so that it doesn't spin. And when you line it up, it should also be pretty close to the bottom edge. So we'll go ahead and put in one of our screws on that. And just hold that straight when you're putting it in, and it should look like that. We're good there. And then for the hinge, we have this little bracket with the peg, and you want the peg to be on the outside edge of the piece, like this, and then we'll put it in with our screws. So it should end up looking like this with the peg on the outside edge. And then we'll put on the handle And you just want to make sure that the handle hangs off this way. Just like that, and since both the doors are done, we're good to move on. In steps 25 and 26, we'll be putting on the doors. So we'll show you how to do that, and we've already done this one. So the first thing we'll do is take our second hinge and set it into the hole. And then we'll take our door with the hinge already on it and put that into the top hole. And then we'll slide the door onto the hinge like this. It might just take a little bit of force to get it into place. And then we'll line it up with the holes and screw it into place. Okay, once those are all tight, we can make sure our door closes properly. And it's not quite hitting the magnet, so we'll just go ahead and loosen the magnet screws and we can slide it forward a little bit. You can make sure it hits the magnet. There it goes. So we'll tighten that back into place. Okay, once both of our doors are in place, we're done. We hope this video was helpful for you when assembling your new desk. For more guides, tips, and tricks, go to walkeredison.com.